A farmer's work is never done. That sounds kind of overwhelming. Maybe a better way to say it is, a circle has no end. Although fall is upon us here in Central Maine, and it's time to put most of the garden to sleep for our long winter, the beginning of October also marks the start of next year's growing season. That's because early October is the time to plant garlic. I've planted garlic at different times throughout the fall over the years that I've been farming. One year, I was so behind I planted it November 16th. You know that saying, it's never too late? Well, that depends on your standards. It's possible to get garlic in USDA Hardiness Zone 5 if you plant in mid-November, but it won't be the greatest crop you've ever had. About the first week of October seems to be right for this climate, and since the garlic was still hanging under the deck, because I hadn't had a chance to put it away, the first step was to find the best bulbs, so I'm planting the best of the genetics. Once I've chosen the best bulbs for replanting and prepped the beds, which I manured earlier in the summer in preparation for this planting, it's time to break apart the bulbs to get the individual cloves that I'll be planting. I'm replanting 3 varieties this year. I'll keep them separate, mark the start of each new variety with its own sign, and, as always, make a note in my garden journal, including the date, number of cloves planted, and any other relevant information, so I can continue to improve each year based on my notes and observations. Some years, this task is best done in front of the wood stove, but it's a fine fall day, so I'm going to pull up a bucket and enjoy the last of the sun, at least until it returns in the springtime. If you've been following this channel since it began, you've seen this little jig before. I use it to plant my onions and leeks at the correct and consistent spacing. However, I first designed and built this to plant garlic. So I dug it out of the shed one last time for this year. I plant garlic 8 inches on center in each direction. With this spacing, I can get 5 cloves across in each of my 30-inch beds. The final step is mulching. You can use almost anything, and I've tried many different mulches over the years. The best I've found is shredded leaves. I use the cedar to contain them a little better because it gets fairly windy here in the fall, and there are few things as frustrating as completing a nicely mulched, beautiful bed of garlic and coming out the next day to find the bed bare to the soil with the leaves long gone.